Welcome to Brunch with Besties podcast.
Hey guys.
I am Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
And our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations.
Yep.
So today we have some special guests here with us.
We do.
We have Ladies Night.
Yes.
So we have Mysterious Jax and Goddess Lorde here with us.
Welcome, ladies.
Ladies, hello, beautiful ladies.
Oh, yay. Welcome. We are so excited.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about Ladies Night and kind of what inspires you guys to create this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into that, we're going to start like we always do with a toast. So Chanel, who are you toasting to today?
I'm going to give my toast to no traffic. Man, I was rushing to get here tonight with you guys, having to pick up my son and run around with him. So I'm just grateful that I made it here on time and we didn't have any issues today. So there we go. There's my toast.
Okay. So Mysterious Jax, we'll start with you first. Who are you toasting to today?
I'm going to toast my amazing friends who have pools and AC because I am so hot right now. I was just saying I have a beautiful home that I live in, but it's built so old that there's no AC and I haven't gotten any yet, like a fan or something. So I went to go hang out with my friends this weekend who had a pool and some AC. So I'm giving them some toast and some love.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Goddess Lorde, who are you toasting to today?
Listen, today I'm going to toast myself because it was the first day of school and all morning I was playing like the IT tech, which I'm not good at. And I kept my cool, even when I had a parent, be not so nice. So I'm going to toast myself.
Yes, fellow educator.
Yes.
You rock. Okay. I love it.
It takes a lot to maintain your cool sometimes.
Yes, especially with all this virtual learning. Like, shout out to you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
All right, Sherry Renee, who you toasting to?
My toast goes to my bestie. Let me tell y'all why.
Okay.
So last week, we left the studio. It was late, and y'all, I was in the car, and I almost cried because there were raccoons. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my God, like, do I stay? Do I go? It's like a Donnell Jones moment. I couldn't get to where I wanted to be, which was in the house. And I called Chanel, I FaceTimed her and she missed the call, but she called right back like, wait a minute, you FaceTiming? She started making a ponytail like, what's going on? What we need to do? She about to roll up on the raccoon. So, I just had to toast my bestie.
Thank you. That was hilarious though. Like, y'all, Sherry was whispering like she was so scared. But I was going to save her. Me and the raccoons was going to fight if we had to.
Man, look, I just want to get in the house.
Listen.
I don't need to see no rodents. I just want to get in the house, okay? All right. So now it is time for us to break bread. We have to check in real quick and see how we doing. So, Bestie, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Busy. I'm also an educator. I work at a school, so we've been very busy trying to prepare for the first day of virtual instruction, which is a lot. So I am the curriculum coordinator for my building, which means I oversee making sure that the teachers are implementing the curriculum in the appropriate way. But I've also got this IT hat. I guess I am the IT person at my school. Everybody comes to me for everything, especially with the MacBooks and any Apple products. Everybody comes to me, and I've been in charge of all of our Chromebooks. So I'm the curriculum coordinator and the IT person at my school this year.
Wow. So yeah.
It happens.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, Jackie Jax. Jackie. Okay. How are you doing?
Only ones that do that, and I love it. I love it. I'm good. I think that this week has been so good. I just finally got some couches in my home, so I'm currently on my own. I had a roommate before. She's gone, and she took all her stuff with her. I don't know why, but and I'm just kidding. And I'm turning her old room into my office / like creator room, and I'm excited. So this week has been really keeping me busy. But moving couches during this heat was not the best. But I'm doing good.
Yes, girl. Not in the triple digits.
Right. So, Goddess Lorde, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I've been feeling very introspective lately. And I was riding like a really high like wave, and then it started kind of dipping down a little bit. And then I heard Keith this morning, and I was like, "That's what's up, Keith. I see you. It's okay to feel the way you feel sometimes. Like it's okay to not be high all the time. You know, you got to feel the lows too." So overall, I'm feeling really good, especially after the episode this morning.
Right.
Oh,
Hey,
yay.
sometimes we need that
Yeah.
pick me up, man.
Indeed. That's what's up.
And it looks like Crazy Maria has joined us.
Hey, girl. Hey. You in here? Welcome.
Maria, we can't hear you. You got to unmute yourself.
And we want to see your face, girl.
Oh, here we go. Okay, there we go.
There we
Yay! Okay, girl. Hey, ladies, how are you?
Oh, what's up?
Nothing much.
We were just checking in, so tell us how you're doing.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing great. You know, just regrouping. I just got back from a week-long trip, drove out to Alabama, stopped in Arkansas along the way, and then flew back. And I was telling my sister Jackie this morning that I got on the plane in Atlanta at 10 a.m. and I did not land until 10 a.m. That night. So I just felt like I lived in the airport all day. So I just been napping ever since and just trying to catch up on that sleep that I lost. You know, it's a huge time change.
Yeah, for sure. That's a long time to be traveling.
Girl.
Yeah.
And we did that because there was like a really bad storm out there and we didn't want our daughter to be driving because it's 2 hours from Alabama to Atlanta. So we just had her drop us off at 10 in the morning, but our flight wasn't until 6. So we just sat at the airport all day. I'd rather do that than have her drive through that damn rain. It's no joke.
But gotta be safe.
Right.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right.
All right.
Thank you for asking, though.
Okay. Check in. Sherry Renee, what's going on?
So y'all, this weekend I took my PMP exam, so project management professional, and I passed, so I'm so excited. So I am now officially a PMP. My mom keeps calling me a PIMP. I keep telling her that there is I'm not a PIMP, but you know what? If that's what she want to call me, I'll take it. I passed.
Right.
So your girl is now certified and has some extra letters behind her name. So I'm happy about that.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So proud.
So now it is time for the tip.
It is. All right.
This episode is brought to you by Audible. Read along with us for free using our free 30-day Audible trial. www.audibletrial.com/BWB. BWB is in Brunch with Besties. Right now, we are reading The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration and the Age of Colorblindness by Michelle Alexander. Again, read along with us for free for 30 days. www.audibletrial.com/BWB. BWB is in Brunch with Besties. The link is always in our show notes. It's also on our Instagram at BrunchWithBestiespodcast. Please click the link in our bio.
All right, now it's time for tea time.
Yay, the best part.
So
Look, I'm ready.
Okay, Maria. I love it.
Crazy Maria.
I love it. Y'all, listen, they tried to put me on blast when Willis was here about what happened at the podcast showcase, but y'all got to watch the video of me and Crazy Maria twerking together. It was amazing.
Yes, well, you was twerking. I was doing some type of a bunny hop.
So funny. That's funny. Lost scenes from the Good News
Lost
Show.
scenes.
Girl, yes.
Y'all had to be there next time.
Next time you'll see it.
There we go.
Right.
So let's get a little bit of background on Ladies Night. So when did the podcast first start?
It started November 2018.
Oh.
So we're getting close to our 100th episode, actually. September 4th is going to be our
Yes.
100th episode.
Okay.
Yes, I'm excited. Ladies Night, yeah, it literally, oh man, it's actually more of a journey than just November 8th, 2018. It really started in 2016 when I met Keith. So I think you guys are going to have Keith next week. Am I right?
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks. So that's going to be a great episode for sure. And you guys are going to get more of a background and more information about the good news. But that's pretty much kind of how Ladies Night branched off of that, I guess you can say. So Lore and I know each other because we used to work together. We used to work at the high school together, middle school, high school. And I loved working there. She was my partner in crime. And I loved my other coworkers. I loved my job. I had great benefits. I had good pay. And the kids are what make it the best there.
Mm-hmm.
But after my 5th year, I kind of was just missing something in my life. And I was like, there's something calling me. I don't know what it is. I have no idea, but I just need to find out what this is. So I pretty much decided to follow my passion and my gut. And I really, really hesitantly gave in my 2-week notice to my amazing boss, who was actually also a female Latina. And I look up to her. She's like one of my mentors. And it was the toughest thing for me to do, was to give her my 2 weeks notice. I actually cried when I gave it to her. And she was like, what is wrong? What is this? That she was in shock because she didn't see it coming. But I had to explain to her, and I wrote everything in the 2 weeks. It was just something that with me. And as soon as I left my job, which by the way was one of the hardest things to do, because those 2 weeks getting there, I was crying every day, going to work and leaving work, just because I knew this was going to be the last 2 weeks that I was going to be around this. And I had no idea what I was going to get myself into. So after that, I started working at my dad's company for a bit, just until I kind of figured things out. And then my mom was in the hospital. I forgot why. Do you remember why, Maria, she was at the hospital then? I think it had something to do with, oh God, I can't even remember. But luckily
My mind just went blank.
Yeah, mine too. And so we were in the hospital, and I remember I got a call from Keith. Mind you, he was just a one-man show when Facebook Live had just launched. And I was like, I had been watching him, kind of how Lore has kind of discovered him. I had discovered him back in 2016. I was like, and I met Keith through another job who we were just social media friends, right? And I was like, this guy is dropping gems, and I was like, is nobody else listening to and he had a bunch of people listening to him, but I'm just like, he needs to be out there, right? And at that time, I had been always wanting to do radio. And I was like, well, this is definitely a great way for me to at least launch up my podcast, so I can make my resume, I guess, to be on radio, because that was my biggest dream. And then I reached out to him after he put an ad out saying, hey, I need some help. I'm looking for a talent manager, right? Or something like that, he had said. And I was like, well, I don't know what that is, but I'll do it, right? Because if you want to get into a business, you got to start somewhere. And he's going to tell you his story too, and how he started as well. But I was like, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure I could do it. I wore many hats at this school. I did a lot of stuff. My resume can speak for itself. So I reached out to him, and I was like, so what is this? Or what are you looking for exactly? Because I'm very interested, and I would love to this opportunity. Because at that time I was like, I can pick his brain on how his setup is and how he's doing his podcast, so then I can do mine. And so I wasn't even thinking of getting paid or nothing like that. It was just more of the knowledge and being around it and learning. Mm-hmm. So he was like, well, I'm going to interview a few more people, but I can see you on this day on, it was a random middle of the day week at this time. And I was like, okay, cool. And I sat with him before and after, I think, the interview. I was sending him mock-ups of his of himself. I created him as a character. I put him, I was just thinking this is what I can do, right? So I'm gonna send it to him after I'm interviewed with him. And then he's like, okay, he met with me. We were on the same page on things, but he said, I do have to interview other people, but I'll keep you posted. And I said, okay. And I just left that interview with him hopeful, and that was it. And then fast forward, my mom was in the hospital, and I get a call from him. So I'm like sad, scared. And then I get this phone call that is to me at that moment was life changing. And I was just it was just it was crazy. It was bittersweet almost. And luckily my mom came out of the hospital fine, and she's good and healthy now. And we started working together. I picked his brain for 2 years straight. I went from talent manager to producer to just, like I said, many hats with Keith. And when you guys meet him, you're going to know, he moves fast, his mind moves fast. So you got to keep up with him as well. And we just vibed, we connected, we worked so well together. And when the opportunity presented itself, he was talking about having a co-host. And if you guys know Keith, he just doesn't give things away, right? He literally makes, like, not earn it, but like, you know, see where your mind is. And long story short, I became his co-host, and I love that. That was my favorite. I was like, this is good. I'm good here now. I'm doing what I love. And then he was like, Jackie, it's your time to be on your own. And by the way, I'm ending the radio show, the Good News radio show. I was like scared. I was like, what are you talking about? And he'll tell you more about that, but I'm just trying to fast forward so you guys can understand like where the where the ladies night came from. And when you have a good vibe, right? Like you have that connection, it's hard for you to let that go. And when he told me that the Good News radio show was coming to an end, I kind of took it as a breakup. I was like, what did I do? I can change. Like, what better? And he was like, no, girl, like you've outgrown this. And it's time for me to focus on the Good News as a network, because by that time we already had shows on the network. And he was just like, it's time for you to have your own show. You're ready. You're more than ready, he said. And it sometimes takes people from the outside looking in to like remind you of what you're capable of. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened. And I was just so nervous and scared, and he was there every step of the way. And he's actually the one that helped me create the title, because I knew like, this is what I want my show to be about. This is what my show's going to be. It's empowering women. It's uniting us. It's uplifting us without putting men down, because I think that's what my biggest thing is, because I have 4 brothers and I have 3 sisters. And I wanted to create something that that my nieces can look up to, that they can go for. And, you know, we already have those type of conversations with them. So for me, it was really important to empower women and have a show like that. But at the same time, still have fun, still be like entertaining. And so I couldn't come up with the name. I really couldn't. And I would call Keith every time, like at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, I can't, and at 4 in the morning, like whatever. And he'd be like, okay, let me get your ideas. And I remember he came over one time, and he was just like, tell me all the names. And he's very honest, very, very honest. And he's like, yeah, that's garbage. Don't do that one.
Dang, not trash.
That one's too plain. There's too many of that. And then I had said, I was like, I just wanted to feel like a ladies' night vibe when you're with your girls, when you're hanging out with them. Yeah, sometimes it's gonna be like a party move, but sometimes you just need your girls to like have a glass of wine and kind of talk to, and a wine, and just and get advice from them. And he's like, well, that's it. There you go. That's your name. I was like, what is? He's like, ladies' night. I was like, Keith, that doesn't pop. I was like, I need something that pops. He's like, no. He's like, that's it. Trust me. Ladies' night radio show. And I was like, and then I took a few days to marinate in it. And sure enough, I ended up loving it. And I decided to go with Ladies' Night Radio Show. And then that's pretty much how the name came about, the show came about. And yeah.
That's what's up.
Keith is in the chat and he said literally couldn't do it without Jackie.
Oh yeah. Aww. You all's dynamic is like always. He always says like, get you a Jackie. Like,
yes, he does.
Get you a Jackie. I love it. I love the dynamic. But no, that's what's up. And Ladies' Night is definitely like catchy, because every time I think about your show, I think about the song, the Ladies' Night song.
I was singing it before we dialed in.
Yes. Like that's a jam. So
it is. Hey.
And you all have a wonderful dynamic. And I think, Jackie, you said a few things that kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, it's not just, it's not only about having a good time, but actually coming to your girls and having these authentic, like really good conversations. And I think that's kind of where our Brunch with Besties name came from as well, because we're like, oh, well, people should hear these conversations that we have. Like, this is dope. And I think the same for you guys, and I just love your dynamic. So let's what about the supporting cast? So what made you choose Crazy Maria and Goddess Lotus?
Woo, this is a good story. No, well,
girl, don't ask about me. I already know how that story's gonna go.
He's in the box because he's ready for this story, because you'll understand why. So when I first started Ladies' Night, I was like, okay, well, I need a co-host, a female co-host. And I thought of my cousin, Madi. Shout out to Madi on the mic, who was my original co-host. and she was awesome. She killed it, and her and I have different views on certain topics, but it worked, and it was a great thing. But when I have to tell you is from episode 1, the only person that was on the mic was really my my co-host Mari, but I had a room full of women in there that were my friends, that were my aunt, my cousins, my aunts, my sisters, and they were there just to support. They were in the background on the couch and just watching, and I just felt so supported having so many women in the studio with me, as they knew I was so nervous that Keith had to press record for me and press start because I was so scared, that they were there to support me. And I think I know Maria has been, Crazy Maria, who is also my sister, by the way, has been there from the very beginning, from episode 1, just in the studio supporting me in any type of way, pumping me up, going woo 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 in the background, whatever I needed, just to, like, you know, support me. And so Crazy Maria wasn't part of the original, but she became once she kept showing up to all of my episodes, and she was just always there, and she became so consistent that, like, and we have a joke where we have this, if you know the studio, she went from the couch to the chair a little bit closer by the banner to the other wall, till she finally was sitting in one of the co-host seats, and she kind of like worked her way in there and just let me know, like, she wants to be on the show in so many ways as a sister can.
Plus the fans were asking for me.
Okay, hey.
By popular demand.
Right. How can you not, right? She's a good time, right? And so I have 3 sisters, by the way, but she is definitely the crazy one of us all. And I love her for that. And I was like, you know what? And I just was like, how do you feel about being one of my co-hosts? Right away, yes, let's do it. When do I start? And so she's been with me ever since. But I will say this, working with family can be a little tricky, especially when you're a sister. And we're very outspoken women who speak our minds, that I've actually kicked her off the show a few times, and she's actually returned every Friday after that. Like, I didn't just kick her off the show, and she walked in like, so who wants tequila? Like, and I was just like, get your ass in here, sit on the chair and just be quiet. But, you know, it's part of our dynamic. Keith thinks it's hilarious. It's funny. It's definitely strengthened our relationship even more so, because, you know, we'd have on air, I have to explain to her, I'm not your sister on air. Like, you have to still follow the routine, but she's learning, and she's learned so much. And now she runs the board for me. She runs the sound effects. I've taught her to do the board. So, and it's actually, I missed her on Friday because I was like, I want to just focus on the guest and my show, and having her do that has been such a, like, blessing, and I'm grateful. And I definitely missed her on last Friday's episode when she wasn't there. But yeah, that's how I got Crazy Maria, who's my sister, my older sister.
And she actually gave me my name because I just wanted to be Maria, but she just insisted, and she made me my Instagram, and she started me off as Crazy Maria.
You are a character. But I'm glad and happy to share her with the world. But I'm also very protective of my family, which is like, that's why I gotta, like, still teach her, like, don't do this, do that, because I want her to, like, learn and, you know, and be the best version of herself for sure. And Goddess Lore is actually just brand new to the show. She's been a past guest, and she's been one of my big supporters since I left the school as well. And she's actually somebody that I go to when I need, like, spiritual advice, like when it comes to crystals, and, like, I just need that good vibe, like, as far as, and the real vibe. She's very honest too, but she reads angel cards, she reads tarot cards, she has a bunch of crystals, and she's going into her own path of, you know, of healing, and I decided to share her with the world too. And so I brought her to the ladies' night, and now she has her own segment on the show called Ride the Vibe with Goddess Lore, and she pretty much just pulls whatever tarot card comes out of the stack, and she reads the vibe for that week, for those few days, and yeah. So, and we're also eventually soon in September gonna start doing tarot card readings on air if anybody wants to call as well.
And it's fun. Okay, listen, is Bestie Scarlett in the chat? She needs to hear that.
Right.
Hey, listen, that would be right up her alley.
That would be right up her alley.
Goddess Lotus, I got a few questions now about her.
She will if y'all want to.
No, that's exciting. Wow. I love it.
Yeah. And I just want to give a quick shout out to my other co-hosts who have been with me. My girl Myra, she was one of my co-hosts, but she had to leave because she had a baby. So congratulations to her.
Congrats.
And Madi on the mic ended up leaving because she ended up going into grad school and has started her new career in the high school now that Lore works out. So yeah, it's been a great journey, and I'm very blessed to have several women. I always have different women joining me. They are the main two consistent ones right now, but there's always women, my friends, my family, or people that are in my network that I bring just to be part of the conversation.
I just want to add that. So I initially started working with Maria, and then Jackie came on board, and I mean, we had a good vibe like from the get. Really meshed. It was so much fun, and I definitely felt like Jackie was breaking up with me when she left. Where I was like, "No, why? We're the best team ever. We finished 6 sentences. Like, we were just like off the charts, A1 together always." And I also remember from listening to those very first episodes, texting Jackie like, Maria needs her own segment. Like, she is hilarious. Give Maria a segment. Like, so now I'm just
you're fighting, and I was kicking her off.
muting her mic. I remember all of that. It's like so great. And now, you know, we vibe really well, and like we genuinely care about each other, and you know, I think we have a good time.
Yeah, it's a real ladies' night in there for sure.
Yes.
So, Goddess Lore, like, why are you so passionate about the podcast and in particular Ladies' Night?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, geez, I have gone through this like just a transformational journey like in my life in the past, I would say maybe 5 years. Very similar to what you guys were bringing up in one of your shows not so too long ago. It's like when you take on the commitment to heal yourself or to help heal others, it's like it all just comes to the forefront, right? From the left, from the right, from the front to the back, and you're just like, okay, now I gotta like I have to be legit. I can't just talk about it. I have to be about it, right? Because I'm facing all of these obstacles in my life. And through so many things that I've gone through that I won't necessarily mention right now, I'm just feel like I'm finally walking in my like I'm in being my authentic self, and it just feels so good to not feel like I'm censored, like I have to act or be a certain way. You know, I'm kind of like, you know what, this is me, and my passion, you know, for a long time has been really like uplifting consciousness and awareness for the collective. And I'm a firm believer that when you heal yourself, that healing ripples in around to your family and to all of the people around you, and that just helps lift awareness and consciousness. And now the fact that I get to like be on ladies night twice a week, double your pleasure, and do something that I'm really passionate about, which, you know, through my segment I feel like, hey, if there's one person out there who could ride this vibe of whatever it is, forgiveness or self-reflection, or, you know, whatever the vibe is, like I'm feeling good that that's like reverberating out to like everybody. And you know, I'm all like, I'm just a good vibe, and the fact that I get to like experience it with these two amazing women, just it fills me up, and I really look forward to the show. You know, every time that we have the show, I'm like juiced, I'm ready, like I gotta get the lips on and get the hoops on, and like here we go. So yeah, I'm very passionate about, you know, helping others and myself, and also another thing is like I love hearing other people's perspectives. You know, I very much feel like everyone else has as much to teach me as I have to teach them, you know, regardless of who they are, their age, their gender, you know, whatever the case. So I love it. I love engaging, and I love learning. It's, you know, it's my passion. So
I love it.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're not only giving to the podcast, but the podcast is actually helping you. It's helping healing you.
Yes,
I think that I would say it's safe to say it's like that for all three of us currently. Like we've all going through stuff that, you know, and I know that okay, I just have to give a quick shout out to you, besties, because every time I listen to you guys, I feel so like like an ease. I always say like you guys are the Oprah of the good news because or get people to open themselves up and just be themselves. And because you guys, you know, you very open about your own journeys, and I love that about you. And I think that that's definitely helped me in ladies night to kind of be more raw with my feelings and honest. And so I just want to give you some love and shout out because I definitely have taken you guys as you know, as a role model to how I wanted to kind of take my show on, you know, with the mix of you guys and Keith. Like, it's like we have to be honest for people to be able to connect with us and really to really listen to us. You can only be so fake for so long for people like, what is this, right? And so people are going to connect with you more when you're honest and you're true to yourself. So and I think we've all been going through our own journeys, and the ladies night and the Good News Network is something that gives me life, gives me passion, and gives me such a sense of purpose. So I'm very grateful for it.
And you know, we will gladly accept that compliment. If you want to compare us to Oprah, we will take it.
Please.
I know that's right.
We'll have to play that clip on YouTube.
Right.
Like, here's the Oprahs of the Good News Radio.
Over here.
Yes.
But Jackie, so you brought up something that I wanted to know. So you said you feel like it's giving you a sense of purpose. I was wondering, and actually from the three of you, what do you feel like your purpose is? Because when I'm listening to the ladies' night, number one, all three of you guys have really great radio voices.
Yes.
Like, it's just so amazing, like how much voices matter. You know what I mean? Like, I could just listen all day. And you guys all sound so different. So I know who's talking. You know what I mean? And like, God is Lord, you just put everyone at ease. Like, you're always so like just.
She has such a peaceful, good vibe.
Like, I feel like you could probably cuss me out and I wouldn't even realize
it.
Like, you could probably put me in my place, let me know, tell me about myself, and then later I'd be like, did she call me a bitch? Like, whoa. Like, because she was real sweet about it. You know what I mean? She was real sweet, and I want everybody to know, because everybody can see you right now, but God is Lord, her lipstick is popping.
Yes, honey.
Popping on the handstand.
She was ready. She said she put on her hoops and her lips, and she was ready.
I heard that.
But yes, I want each of you, if you could, to tell us, what do you feel like your purpose is? And you know what? Let's start with Crazy Maria.
Yes.
Let's start with you.
You know, for me, like all my life, I felt like my purpose, I feel like I have many, but one of them that is very important to me is bringing life and energy to a room. You know, bringing laughter and making people laugh is, even if it's like sometimes at my cost. You know, I feel like that's my purpose on this radio show. Like, I know that, you know, sometimes Jackie will give me a look, or, you know, she'll be like, you're doing too much. And let me tell you, I used to never curse on the radio station. You could ask Jackie, until she told me. I apologized one time because I dropped the F-bomb, I think. And she was like, no, it's okay. And I was like, what? Like, ever since I know. And I'm on my best behavior, Brunch with Besties, because I know that you ladies don't drop them like that on this show. But when I found out that I can drop them. I saw you
mute yourself a couple times.
Girl, for me, I just feel like, you know, the energy is just a good, fun, loving, happy energy. But I know that there is a time and a place, because sometimes we do have those serious conversations or topics where that's not the place to have. So, you know, it is, I try to contain myself sometimes during those times. Even with my music, Jackie's like, this is not the song for this show. So, yeah.
Like, I'm finding myself at home dancing. Like, when you do a good job with the music, okay?
Thank you.
A really good job.
I try. But I think it was like the week before I left, we were having a serious topic, and I was bumping some song, and Jackie was like, no, cut it off. And I think I mad dogged her, like, are you serious? But yeah.
She be giving me deadly looks, you guys. Deadly looks.
Listen,
if we can have a live, you guys would be laughing. Yes. I know Lord be feeling uncomfortable sometimes. Like, I didn't see nothing.
Just stay, looks down. Don't even look at us.
She got her fan up. Like, oh.
Like you guys said, that's what sisters do.
Absolutely. And yes.
For my purpose, for the ladies' night, I feel like it was really important and crucial for me. One, it's given me like a reminder that like my voice matters. It's out here. and I'm giving voices. I have a platform to give voices for other women, because for so long, I just felt like I'm a girl. You know, it is like, I don't know. Maybe it was the way I grew up, our culture, but you know, like in our house, like it was like the men and kids eat first, and then the women, and it was just a lot of things I always heard, like, well, this isn't a conversation for you, or stuff like that. I always, even at work, when I worked in retail, like I would have male managers being like, oh, this is above your pay grade kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is so rude. Like, so I just felt like women needed to be heard more. And I wanted to have that platform for women to be able to be themselves, be confident in how they speak, and just kind of give that reassurance. And I know sometimes I still need it too, which is why I created it. But I also created it because I was meeting so many women that were telling me that they didn't have a lot of female friends or women in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, growing up with 3 sisters, a mom, tias, and now I have 11 nieces, I always had women around me. So I just assumed that every woman has so much, like, women power around them. And my sisters, we empower the hell out of each other. And so when I was meeting these women that didn't have any women in their life, I was like shocked, I was surprised, and I was like, no, I need to change this.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of women out there that I'm their first female friend, and they always hit me up whenever they want a girls' night, and or you know, whatever. And I was like, there's probably more women like this, and it's not to make them feel bad, it's just to let them know what amazing things can come if you find the right women in your life. Because there can be some mean girls out there can be some cattiness out there, but I wanted to reassure them that not every woman's like that, especially if your first impression is of a woman, you know, because a lot of times it comes from your relationship with your mother. It begins with that. So if you don't have a strong relationship with your mom, and then you meet these women in your life at work that are catty, it can like give that bad impression of women. And I wanted to change that. I wanted to make sure that if you guys don't have any women in your life, or any girlfriends, or any girls you can ask questions to about anything, sex, relationship, call us, email us, DM us. We won't put your information out there, but we will answer your questions. That, again, is my goal and purpose, is to uplift and empower women, but at the same time without putting men down, because I have 4 brothers, dad, I have uncles, tios, and cousins. So I definitely want people to know that. So that was my purpose.
Awesome.
Goddess Lorde.
So just very similar to, I think, what both of these amazing women are saying. Like, I love seeing people laugh and just have a good time, and, you know, just have fun, right? So that's one. Also empowering women, that's been really big for me as well. Men also, my segment, especially lately, I've been really feeling called to, I don't want to say sexual healing, because then it triggers the song, and then that's just a whole bad memory. That's for another episode of Ladies Night, prom flashbacks. But just feeling really connected to the idea that we can do so much healing through our sexual connection with ourselves. I know that I promote masturbation quite a bit on the show. I promote just open sexuality, just talking about things that are considered taboo, you know, when I feel like maybe they shouldn't, you know, like we should be able to have conversations just in general about sexuality, but really the power that has when you're connected to, like, I feel like your sexuality or your sexual connection with yourself, it's kind of like a portal to your divinity, you know. Like there's so much healing and growth that can come from that connection that we have with ourselves and with others. So I think like that's more of like my passion of the moment right now, is kind of like that, that sexual vibe too, and kind of, it, talking about it freely. I talk about it quite often.
I mean, that's ladies' night in general. If you ever heard, like, we talk about a lot of things that are considered taboo, and we make it okay for you and feel comfortable to talk about it. There's no judgment. There's no judgment on ladies' night.
I have a question about what Goddess Lorde just said, but I think I'm gonna call in on one of y'all episodes and then discuss it openly on ladies' night.
On ladies.
Yes.
Yes.
But it definitely triggered a question. I was like, oh yeah. So I'm gonna have to circle back on that.
Pencil
Write it down and don't forget.
Write
Write it down and don't forget.
Yes, for sure. No, I love it. And you all show is very like interesting and open. Like some of your topics, I'm just like, wow, like that's interesting. Like the other day. Right. Like, yes. But the other day you were talking about like women being too independent and are they missing like men? Like, is that
male suitors away or suitors away?
Yeah. So that definitely always makes me think like, is it? And and I think that's why your podcast and your show is so important for women because that is a real life topic. Women are dealing with those.
Yeah.
So a lot of my
I mean me. I said by women I mean me.
Exactly. Literally, a lot of my topics I get sometimes are from that week or the day before because things that I'm going through or that my girlfriends are going through, and I usually ask them, is it okay if I use this as like a topic? And I'll never say their names, I'll never share their like exact information, but I kind of form it in a question where more people can relate to it. So I've actually heard that from a lot of men that, independent women, you guys telling us we ain't shit or you don't need us. So I've heard it. So I wanted to form it in a question where both parties can to kind of like question like, okay, wait. And so you'd be surprised of how many actual males DM'd me and responded to that specific question. Are independent women pushing, potential suitors away? So that's something that, and I try to go in with an open mind. I'm not just going to be like, man ain't shit. Like, no, I just also try to talk to the men in a way that they understand why we're independent, what makes, independent women. So I guess, in a way for them, taboo or like not dateable. So it was something that was very passionate for me that I had to bring it to as a topic.
Right.
So you guys also talk about feminism a lot. So what does your definition, like what does it mean? Because we hear a lot of different definitions. So I
and
want
it's
to
funny
know
you say that. We were just talking about that. We're, I think, going to make that into our next one of our future shows, and we're actually going to bring the shout out to the Black Barber Shop. I'm going to invite them to come because they had an episode recently to talk about feminism, and it's interesting to know what males think of the word feminism, or specifically them, because there's also male feminists. But for me, I think it's important that people understand that feminism can also have levels, right? Like you can also be, proud of who you are, as far as like, I can be a proud Latina, and there's Latinos out there that are like super like want to like show who they are, and there's like people that are just like, I'm Latina and I'm proud of it, right? So for me as like feminist, there's levels to it, and I think at the end of the day we all have the same goal, which is to have the same opportunities, the same equal opportunities for just our work, not just looking at our gender. So if you and I both went to school for the same degree and we both put in the same time, our resumes look similar, at the end of the day, why are you as just making more money than me? Is it just because you're a male? What is it like, And a lot of males, I just want to say this, males don't take off of work like women do to go have babies. That is like their biggest thing. And I tell you not, I've heard this from so many men. So I just try to be, instead of attacking Chanel, I know your face was like, wait, what? Exactly. My energy is that. So I try to not attack them, because when you attack people, they shut down and they don't hear what you're saying.
Right.
I understand what you're saying, but and a lot of them, I try to use their moms, their sisters, their daughters as examples, but it's just have like the same opportunities that men have. And because I know there's extreme feminists. When people think of feminists, it's like women don't shave, they don't put deodorant on, they don't do this, they don't do that. And it's like, they're all lesbians. And it's like, no, that's not what a feminist is. At the end of the day, we just want to be heard. We want to be seen. We want to be valued for our work, not just for what's between our legs. We want to show you like, this is what I can do. So, why do I have to like keep asking you for more money when you're just giving a Bob over here all the money just because he got, a penis between his legs. So for me, it's just important. Right. and it's important for me to speak up now so that my nieces, my 11 nieces and my other, the younger children can have even a fighting chance. So we got to so that the future has more of a chance and same opportunities. Yeah, like, so don't get me wrong. I'm a feminist who still likes their door open. I'm a feminist that still likes to be taken out on dates. I'm a feminist that like still, you know, yes, I can probably mount this TV by myself or take out this trash, but I'd prefer if you would do it, you know, like but I can do it. If you tired, I get it, babe. I'll go take out the trash. I'll make dinner. But I also want somebody that's going to be a partner with me and make dinner if they get here first and not just wait until I get home just because I'm a female. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want a partnership at the end of the day. That's why I say I'm a feminist.
Love it. Okay.
Got it.
Listen, Jackie, like I could do it, but you know, I don't want to. I would prefer.
Right.
Right.
And ain't nothing wrong with that.
Does anybody else have any other comments on feminism?
Well, I do have something to piggyback because I think, Chanel, you had commented when they had that episode. You said something like, my mother raised me strong, but I have to kind of remind myself, and you know, correct me if I'm misquoting you, but I have to remind myself to, you know, come down off of being that strong woman that my mother raised.
That's exactly what I said. Yep.
And so I have 3 young daughters, and, you know, I'm raising them to be able to do things for themselves, like, you know, change their oil, change a tire. Hell, Jackie had a tire. She lived around the corner from me, a flat tire. And she came to my house and we changed it with the help of my middle child, Anissa. So these are the things that I implement in them. But then, like, without thinking that, am I also kind of doing harm? Because then they're going to grow up to think that, you know, what do they need a man for? And with listening to the show, it did make me kind of react also that, you know, you want your man to feel somewhat needed. You don't want him to feel like, you know, you're not needed at all. So like Jackie said, like, it did trigger me when I was listening to the episode on Wednesday, that, you know, it is true that you do want to be able to know how to do these things. Because, I mean, you know, we're all single in one part of our life, and then we do get married, and we do want to be the backbone to our husband, as well as, you know, being able to teach your kids these things. So it is something that, like how Jackie said, you know, your husband doesn't take family time leave, but that was also something that wasn't back in the day, that it is now an opportunity for men to be able to do. But it is true that when you have your children, most of the time, I don't want to, you know, be a stereotype, because my brother is one of those fathers that would get up in the middle of the night and feed his children when they were first born. But it is true that, you know, men do expect the woman to be able to get up or to wake up and feed the child, because they're off for these, you know, 30 days of, what do you call that? Family time leave or whatever. Maternity leave. There you go. So it is expected.
But you're right, fathers have that opportunity to do family time. So that's actually, and I think that's also how feminism works, is like, okay, well, if women get it, then men should get the time to spend, to bond with their child.
And and I think that most men are actually using it. Now, I don't know if they're using it to actually be there for the damn baby. You know, I think they're just doing that to get a damn vacation.
They are, Marie. Don't put them down like that.
That's why I cleaned it up. I said, you know, my brother is one of those fathers, but it's unfortunate that, you know, our country was like all for the men at one point, and women didn't really have many rights. You know what I mean? Even if you look back to when makeup was created, makeup was not created for men. It was actually, I mean, it was not created for women. It was actually created for men. So we do come from a country. Yeah, we do come from a country that, you know, it was, I want to say, women didn't really have rights. And it was all about the men, but we've come a long way. We've come a long way, and we have to stand up and have a voice. And I have all daughters, so I try to give that voice to my daughters. But now I also feel like I have to rethink about the voice that I'm implementing into them, because I also don't want them to be like, not saying that there's anything wrong for you ladies that are, you know, in your 40s and still single, no children or nothing like that. But, you know, you want to make sure that when you do have your husband, you know how to cater to him as a woman should, as he should to you.
Or their wife.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a interesting or different kind of perspective that I've been thinking about when the feminism was brought up from the show. And I think love language is something that is also a big part of it, of like, what's your love language? Like, because if you're in a relationship where maybe the female takes on a little bit more masculine roles, and the male that you're with might like that, you know? But it made me think that if yes, traditionally men have taken the role of being the provider, the strong one, the one who works and mounts the TV and washes the car and does the yard work. And now women, you know, we can do it on our own. And I'm not about I need a man. It's I want a man. I want a partner in my life to be with me and to like, you know, experience life with me. But it made me think that like if you start taking that piece away from the men, or they perceive it through feminism, right? Perceive that if you take away their role as like a caretaker, as a provider, what does that leave, right? Like what is their desire now as a partner? Like if you don't need that from them, you don't need them to provide for you, you don't need them to, you know, like be the man of the house because you can do it on their own. I think it's also pushing men to step up a little bit and be like, okay, what are the other things that I could provide in my relationship? And I think that sometimes men shy away from that because it's pushing them to be a little more on the being in touch with their emotions, you know, being in touch with that part of themselves that society has said like, hey, that's like a chick thing, that's what girls do. But also that is what females find desirable in men as well, you know, men who are in touch with their emotions and how they feel. So I think it's just a conversation, it's so multifaceted, it could just go on and on. But yay feminism, because we all want to have opportunities. If you want to stay home and have babies, girls, stay home and have babies. If you want to be a corporate CEO, go ahead and do that.
Yes.
Same for men, you know?
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you guys do have different perspectives on that, because I know when I was listening to the Black Barbershop, you know, I think that they were making some good points too, right? Because on one hand, they were like, you know, women want to be equal, but you don't want to use our basketball court and our basketball. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
things like that. Like there's accommodations made for the WNBA, but you want to be equal. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna be equal, right? So yeah, I agree. It could go on, but I do know that there's a lot of different takes when it comes to feminism. I want to know, so what do you guys think it takes to make this podcast work?
I guess you can say we communicate a lot. We text a lot, and at the end of the day, we all share. We're very open and share our personal lives, that we're able to see and take certain things and bring them up to light, to make them a topic, to make them a show, because we're like, if we're going through this, I'm pretty sure there's more women going through this. And we want to be able to create a platform for people where women can relate to it. We have a lot of male listeners, but we cater to women. This show is for the ladies, by the ladies. And I want to make sure that they always remember that.
Right
Yeah.
on, Jackie. I love it.
And I think also respecting each other's truth as well. You know, I know that some things that, you know, Lore might agree with, I might disagree with, Jackie agree with, I might disagree with, but just understanding that and respecting each other's truth and how they feel about whatever particular topic we're talking about. That is also a big thing. Not taking it personal because we disagreed on air.
Right.
Good.
Everything that they just said.
She's like, ditto.
All right. I love you. I love your voice.
I know.
I know, right?
So yeah, and let's just, okay, a quick aside. So Goddess Lorde, did you do radio before, or like do you work on your voice? Do you know that your voice is a gift? Do you consider it to be like a talent?
I told you they're gonna make us cry.
No.
That's what Oprah would do.
Right.
I feel so blessed that you just like expressed that to me. Never did I ever feel that that was a gift. If anything, how it actually sounds, I always hated my voice growing up. Always. I felt like I would hear myself in a recording. I'd be like, oh my God, who is that? She sounds so terrible. I knew that I know now, because again, I'm kind of walking in my truth, that the content of what I say reaches a lot of people. And I really do, like when I do the work that I do, I work from my heart. And so I know that in that sense, yes, I know that it's a gift, but in terms of like having a soothing, sexy voice, I never knew that. Well, I added the sexy.
I was like, sexy.
Okay, we got
Yes,
Own
honey.
it.
Yes.
Own it. Okay. Add whatever you want and own it.
Soothing, sexy, listen, smooth,
What
all that.
What is that app you girls be talking about? Next thing, that's where Lord is gonna be at. What's it called?
OnlyFans.
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 Fans only, OnlyFans.
Not the
Just talking.
OnlyFans.
Listen, God is loaded gonna be on there just talking the whole time. Subscribe
Right.
to hear me
exactly.
talk.
And she gonna be
Right.
back.
Listen, get your bags, okay? I love it.
The energy you get from her in real life. She is that
Yes.
exact form.
Yes. Yes.
That's very sweet. And all of you guys have your own unique gifts. It is like Crazy Maria, you break the tension.
Girl.
Do I?
Like, yes. Okay. Like it's nobody's business.
The life
So
of
we
the
know
party.
we're gonna laugh. And Jackie,
Starter.
you have a radio voice too,
Yeah.
Jackie. Like
Yeah, she does.
so crazy. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, do we sound like them? Can we,
Yes.
how do we sound like
I know I don't. Jackie got a voice. And didn't
No.
you do some voice work, Jackie?
I've done a little bit. I went to school for it, but I only took like one class at a JC, so it wasn't like a lot of work. But yeah.
Hey, it all counts.
Listen, it count.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's JC. I don't know.
Listen.
But either way, it works.
Don't downplay it, y'all. You got it.
Yourselves, you guys have beautiful voices. I'm telling you, your show is just
Mm-hmm.
to hear. I love your show.
Yes.
Your sounds are both beautiful.
Listen, we should have called this girl power. Like I love
Yes.
It is.
I love it. I'm loving
Yes.
all of it.
And honestly, I'm really excited too that your show is Latin women.
Yes.
Like, I just think that is so amazing.
Brr, 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 brr. Had to add that in there, yes.
Like that's another thing that I think is missing. You know what I mean? That you guys
Yeah.
have.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
You've got some stuff coming,
Thank
and
you.
yeah, I can't say too much because Keith might kill me. There'll be more of those soon.
We like when people drop bombs on our show.
I know.
mean,
We like the exclusive.
I know, right?
I mean, I think that we should have a OnlyFans for all of the Good News Radio. I've been trying to get Keith to start one for himself.
Keep saying that. I'm gonna have to talk to Keith at our next meeting.
Okay.
And I want to say, I feel the same when I listen to your show. I really feel that you ladies are coming from the heart, and you're you being so genuine and wanting to help heal other women or people and heal yourself. It comes through in your show. So I'm very happy that I just have discovered you guys as well.
Oh,
Thank
yay.
you.
Thank you. Yes, we definitely got to have you back. I'm really on this angel number, kid. So.
You guys come on our show, and she can read your cards on our ladies' night.
Yes, let's do it.
Really quick shout out to the ladies. We like to end our show by saying this. So I know you're not ending it yet, but we wanted to say at the end of all of our shows, we like to say, and just remember one thing, ladies, you
are enough.
So for you and all your female listeners, you are more than enough, ladies.
Yes.
And that is the perfect way to
Listen,
end.
that is a perfect
That's the
way.
perfect way to end because we are right at time. And
Doesn't it go by so fast?
it goes by way too fast.
The hour
When
goes
you
by
enjoying what you're doing, it
Honestly,
sure does.
That's a really powerful statement. And
Mhm.
I was watching Marissa Peer, I think her name is, and that's the message that she always tries to drive is she makes you say, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough. Because when you know that you're enough, it transcends into every aspect of your life. You don't have to put on, like Goddess Lorde said, right? I get to just come and be myself, and myself is good enough.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to put on and be anything else. And like you said, I don't have to filter myself. If I cuss, I cuss. If I don't, I don't. But I'm still Crazy Maria either way.
Hey,
Either way.
yes, that's what I tell Jackie at the end of the day.
But it has been amazing having a ladies' night on a Monday night.
Our pleasure.
So thank you, ladies.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tuning into Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time, peace.